Hello, my name is Michael Montoya. I used to belong to the Church of Bible Understanding. I'm doing a series of videos on the history of that group and its leader. I also want to give direct advice to current members of the group because it still does exist. There are about 50 members left who are actual members of the group. A little bit about myself. I became a Christian in 1975. I was 13 and a half when I became a Christian. My two brothers went to a David Bowie rock concert, and members of the Forever family were handing out tracts then. My brother Chris made a phone call, and a couple of days later, members of the group came down, and they brought the gospel to my mom and four brothers, and they became Christians. I held out. I thought it was kind of odd what was going on. But several months later, in June of '75, I became a Christian, and we started off. We were witnessing in the neighborhood and witnessing at our schools, handing out chick tracts. I did that a lot. Leading people to Jesus, which in our version was talking to them about getting saved, and then saying the sinner's prayer with them. And some did come to Christ that way. I'm not going to question whether or not things were genuine or not. I just know that my intent was to bring the gospel to my classmates, and some of them did become Christians. First time I saw Stewart was an unusual situation. Again, I was probably 14 years old, and let me just check this real quick. Okay, just making sure this thing doesn't turn off on me. It was at a regional meeting in Richmond, Virginia. And again, I think I was 14 years old. I came into the meeting. It wasn't the full-on meeting. It was some separate meeting in a separate room. It was some kind of big warehouse they were meeting in. And I sat down, I think, with my brother. He may have gone somewhere else, but I sat down. And Stewart was sitting, everybody was sitting in fold-up chairs. They were having what I've later learned, a dealing session. Somebody was acting up in the fellowship, and they needed to be dealt with. Turns out it was this 14, 15, 16-year-old son of one of the members, and he was misbehaving. At one point in the meeting, Stewart had him stand up in front of everyone, and his mother was behind him. She was directed to speak to him by Stewart. Stewart kept calling him a snot, kept referring to him as a snot, or a little snot. And this made me, just blew my mind, made me angry. Because I'm looking at this guy, and he's coming across as mean, and he's standing up this kid. He's directing the kid to kid's muck to him. And when the kid tried to turn around to face his mother, she would say, "Turn around, don't look at me," I think as per Stewart's instructions. This is my first taste of Stewart. So after about a half hour, more than a half hour, the meeting concluded. There was about, I'd say, more than 100 gathered in that one place, 75 to 100. And I was determined. I was glaring at Stewart the whole time. I was looking right at him. And after the meeting, I went up to him, and I said, "Why did you call him a snot?" And Stewart looked at me, and he said, "Because he was acting like one." And then he said, "Brothers, talk to him. I've got to," and he just sort of shuffled away. And I just, right there, thought, this guy's mean. He's a weirdo. I mean, there's, all kinds of stuff went through my head. And I told my brother that I wasn't going to go to the meetings anymore. I wasn't going to even do anything. And I only changed my mind when we went to a Washington, Baltimore center meeting, near the Mormon church I guess it's in Maryland, that big Mormon church. And Stewart came in almost comically, hurrying up, and everybody was singing, and he just seemed totally different as far as he seemed happy. He didn't seem angry. And that's when I started changing my mind, and I thought about coming to the meetings and going along with my brother Chris. I'm going to cut tape here and then start the next one.